I don't have specific information on where Saddam Hussein is. If I did, we'd go find him there right now.
It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since then. I have really complex feelings about my time in the military. I think I was used. I think a lot of people in the military get used. I was 100% convinced about the mission at the beginning of the war. After 9/11, America was responding, and I was going to be a part of that response. But what I didn't know was how much fiction would be a part of my job. I would like to think I was just there to facilitate the media's interest in the U.S. military and the U.S. government, but the truth is, I was used to sell a war. I remember the night before I left, laying in bed with my wife and kind of wondering aloud to her, I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like I'm not going to come back the same. I grew up in a small town in North Texas, north of Dallas, and I always had a sense that there was a lot more out there in the world than what I was seeing. And for me, it seemed like the military was a way to kind of get out there and see the world. I knew nothing about Arabs or the Middle East. I mean, just nothing. What I did know about for sure was the U.S. military. My family, we have a long line of a military tradition where my father, my grandfather on both sides, my grandfather's grandfather, going all the way back. The U.S. military, when it was preparing for the invasion, this is like early 2003, was sending hundreds of thousands of military people to Iraq. Great majority of those would know very little about the region, the language, or the culture. Much like Hollywood, I was cast to play a role because I had a Texas accent, I had blue eyes, I had a son back at home and a wife back in the States. I was only in Doha for 7 months in 2003, but it was during those months that I spent every day really with Al Jazeera producers and reporters. While I was there, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld started to say Al Jazeera showed beheadings, that they were the mouthpiece of bin Laden and Al Qaeda, and that they were anti-American.
Al Jazeera has a pattern of playing propaganda over and over and over again.
What I saw going into their newsroom in uniform was that they weren't buying the line that the U.S. military seemed to be part and parcel of, like packaging and marketing and selling.
We believe that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction, that they had the will to use them against us.
When?
What do you mean when?
When did they use them against you?
That they have the will to use them against us?
Oh, when? I mean, do you think Saddam...
When you say someone has the will, that's like saying...
I mean, Saddam was threatening the U.S. with weapons of mass destruction?
Yes.
When? That's news to me, I'm sorry.
Obviously, I wish I didn't help sell a war that went on to cause such destruction and pain for so many. There were definitely a lot of threats against me. Before I took the job at Al Jazeera, people that I know and respected said, "You may never work again." People in forums online would say I should be taken out. I should be killed before I give away too many secrets, that I was treasonous. There wasn't a lot of distinction in the U.S. between Al Qaeda and Al Jazeera at that time. For a Marine to go over, I think a lot of people really felt like I was a traitor. I could have never imagined when I was sitting in that chair talking to Hassan Ibrahim that one day I would be the journalist at Al Jazeera. If you would have told me this Marine officer and this Al Jazeera reporter, years from now, only one of them is going to be an Al Jazeera reporter, and it's not Hassan, like, that would have made no sense in my mind.